What lessons did you draw from that? Mushrooms, exercise. I
Mushrooms
don't.
and exercise. Exercise is critical. I don't think the mushrooms by themselves would have worked, but that's the thing that I use for everything is the brutal exercise. Like my exercise routines are horrible, and because of that, everything else is easier. I create my own bullshit, and my own bullshit is so much harder. And it's not just that; it's also sauna and cold plunge and these torture sessions. They in enduring those when you endure those, it makes enduring other things much easier. And it's also an understanding of what's happening. Like you have to know like media. You have to understand like what the hot take, YouTube, social media, podcast, ecosphere is doing. Like if they're talking about, LexFridman said this and we have to comment on that and Lex gets canceled in all capital letters on a YouTube clip. And if you watch that, you're fucking crazy. What are you doing? Absorbing all this negativity? It's not good for you. You are you. You, and you know generally if you've made a mistake, and you know generally if people are upset with you.
You posted this awesome video on your Instagram of a woman who was being interviewed in the late 1920s, maybe.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and she's close to 100 years old. So she's lived through the Civil War, through World War One. She was at the time living through the early days of the Great Depression. So I was just looking back, what have we as a human civilization in recent times survived, especially in the United States? You're talking about the two world wars in the 20th century, the Great Depression, the Spanish flu, the pandemic at the beginning of the 20th century.
Yeah.
What do we do in the United States? 9/11. If you think of what are the traumatic events that shook our world, it's 9/11. It made us rethink our place in the world. Um, the pandemic
Pandemic is a huge one.
is, I
One of
mean,
the bigger ones because
it's
it
a
also
really big one.
accelerated and exacerbated our anxiety, which people have a certain level of anxiety already, especially sedentary people. They have a very high level of anxiety already because I don't think they're giving their body what it needs. I don't think your body has certain requirements in terms of movement. And when you deny your body those requirements, I think there's like a general level of anxiety that exists in almost everyone. And then you have people obviously that have mental health issues. And that also exacerbates the anxiety. The lockdown exacerbated the anxiety. Losing loved ones to the pandemic exacerbated anxiety. And then there was the division, the different schools of thought.